I wanted to come in here and give Tory Lanez all of the props in the universe, and then that led to I have to go back to Rory and say I don't, and I'm not using this as a moment to tear down black men. But I'm not having.
Why are you coming to me for? Leave me out of this.
I'm not having.
What the fuck? Don't put my name in that.
I'm not having the Tory versus Bryson debate ever again. It's over now to me.
Okay.
And it should be to you too.
Okay, Joe Seinfeld. My bad.
But I think that what Tory is and has been doing, he has just really been putting on a clinic. Like, you know how you ever just watch a show and the fucking actors are so amazing that it's just like a clinic. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like that is what Tory has been doing this entire time. Like, from the first quarantine radio where there was 2,000 people up into everything that he has executed to now.
Yeah, he's. I think he's probably adapted to the times better than any artist I've seen in 2020. With everything that he's been doing, outside of his personality with the music now, with the YouTube thing, doing the actual concert tour shit that he's partnered with YouTube on, I can't think of an artist that's done better in this time.
Yeah, he's killed.
Nah, he's I like what I'm seeing from Tory. I think this is the most. It's weird that in the time like this is the most personal we've seen Tory. Like I told one of my homeboys, you know, I've been a fan of Tory's for years. I like this music, but I told my friends I still don't know who Tory is though. As a person, as an artist, like I still don't know his story. I still don't like. So this to me is the most personal and the most I've been able to gauge him as a person. Like this is the most time we've had to really see him in a more personal light. Like I think before it was like just music and you know. Him performing, he gives a lot of energy at his live shows. So we had that from him, but other than that, it was like, here's this kid that just popped up and put out a dope ass mixtape, but you still didn't know his story. You know what I'm saying? And I think that now we're starting to get a little more of the personal Tory. Like we're getting more of his personality. And I think that's a good thing. I think he's capitalized off of that, which is super dope to see, and it's nothing but congrats to him because that's he's making a big play right now. Yes,
it's definitely a rare occasion where he can do the personality quarantine radio shit and then also have hit records to back it up to then get a bag to live perform at the same time. Right. So it's a really difficult two things
to
possess.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
Well, no, I didn't have much there, but it's just a really interesting point to show the type of artist he is, that he's able to get bags in both of these in an active time where his music is relevant and his personality is relevant.
I want to address what Maul just said about him showcasing more of his personality now. Personally, I'm going to attribute a lot of that to him being independent now. Mm-hmm. I got to tell you, Maul, when I spoke to him on the pull-up, it was right before the release of the Chicks tape, and off mic, he didn't sound like the happiest of campers. He sounded like somebody that was dealing with whatever troubles he was dealing with at the label that he really didn't want to get too much into. He just knew that he was in for quite a fight coming up. And he spoke to me about some of that in confidence. And I didn't want to, he didn't sound defeated at all. He just sounded like I have to suppress myself because of what I'm about to, the fight I'm about to have. For me, on a much smaller level, when I wanted to leave Def Jam and then I decided to put out Mood Music 2, it got so hot that Def Jam wouldn't release me. So it's like a line that you have to walk when you want to be released. And somehow he worked it out and he is released. He's free. His people hit me. They said, no, this is real all the way. He's 100% independent, owns publishing, masters, a lot of his catalog. Kudos. But
how many artists have gotten that at I'm not going to say this would be the peak of his career, but this I think is the highest moment he's been in his career.
Yeah.
Another rare occasion for an artist to have that type of power and leverage at that time.
Yeah. I wanted to highlight a few things because I don't want some of the listeners out there to feel like we're talking about things on this grandiose scale. Because when I say Tory is putting on a clinic, I'm saying that you don't have to be the biggest Tory Lanez fan as a creator to be able to pull something from what he is doing. And I just wrote a few things down because I just think it's genius how he's just doing all of this. Yeah. And the first thing I wrote down was proof of concept. Tory Lanez, at this point in his career, who probably feels like he don't have to show proof of concept to anybody. And let me tell the audience that when people are asking for proof of concept, if you actually believe in it and believe that you can prove the concept, then why not just do the concept?
Hey, can you define that terminology for those that might not know?
Proof of concept is you go to somebody with an idea, but they want to know, like on Shark Tank. That's what proof of concept is. You go to Shark Tank with an idea, and they start asking you a bunch of questions to see how you know that this thing works. Where's the proof that your concept is actually what you say it is?
Right. And how has he shown that?
Because
through the quarantine radio thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's been able to show that his audience will follow him.
Well, now look. Yeah. Now this is what I mean, Parks. Tory Lanez has been right in front of our face. He's been here. He's not a new act. It's the same way people say, here's a great example. Boy, I'm spilling the beans. I got some good shit coming to y'all when we get to July.
Come on, Joe. Now you talking.
When we get to July and August,
I'm gonna keep giving you the ball. You keep hitting the shot. We gonna run the same play all night until they stop it.
You know what it's like? This is my example. Vince Staples. Everybody when we look at Vince Staples, no matter what you think about his music, you kind of know what he would be like as a media entity, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Different brain, different type of brain.
Yeah. Nothing is happening. Now, that's not because people have not approached Vince Staples about something, but these tone-deaf fucks can't seem to figure out what to do with Vince Staples. Yeah. How would it work? That's like somebody going to Spotify before we get there and saying, hey, I got a retired rapper and his two homeboys, and they're going to go talk some shit.
No, that's not working as a pitch.
No, I'm not.
No, we had to do it for 4 years.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So back to Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez has been here in front of your faces. He's been successful. He's been singing. He's been doing interviews. He's showed glimpses of personality. Nobody thought to come and say, yo, this is what we're doing. He did it. And when he did it, he only had, and this is proof of concept, from the start to where he ended. He only had about 1,500, 2,500 people in there at first. It wasn't so many sound effects. The hype man wasn't so active, right? It was just him doing some shit because he was bored, and it worked, and he stayed doing it. And then by that next week, he had however many people. It was a lot of people. The same way when I first clicked on D-Nice, it was 200 people, and then the end of the week, there was 10,000, then it was 150,000.
Hipster. Right.
That makes me a hipster?
Yeah, because you was there with 200.
That does not make me hipster. But back to Tory Lanez. So proof of concept, yes.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
important. Amassing audience. He did that on his own. Improve on concept. I think that's where a lot of our genius comes from.
I want
Boy,
you to
have
skip
we done
over
that a lot.
the audience part.
Oh, no, go ahead.
The ability.
Please jump in wherever.
The ability to grab an audience that may not be from your core.
Yes.
A lot of people are now fans of Tory Lanez not because of his music, nor particularly give a single fuck about his music. But he may make more money elsewhere because of it. The same way people say you can't become a millionaire without more than one income stream. It's the same way with audiences. You can't have the same audience come back for the same exact product. You need to find something else to bring in if you want to bring in a mass audience. It's math at the end of the day. And you only have so many people like your music.
And he amassed this audience that may not necessarily be all the hypest about his music without the clickbaiting, clout chasing. You know, we always ask that on this podcast, like, how do you get the attention without, like, he did it. Well, you got to recognize when people do it.
That's a fact.
Improved on concept. Great.
Which I want to get to another point after to that clout chasing clickbait thing.
Go ahead.
Get through this.
I said a mass audience. Then I also wrote here growing audience.
Which
two different things. Requires two totally different sets of skill.
Yeah.
He did them both. Oh, and then make them loyal. Yo, if you're paying attention to what this kid has been doing,
You masterclassing now.
Word.
because listen,
No, I'm not making a joke.
Very many people
people pay for real classes that don't even give those first 5 you just gave.
He's smoking this shit, and I'm watching him, and I'm like, yo, I gotta be honest. I don't know if people recognize all the different things he's doing at once. They blocked him. He got the head of Instagram to bring him back, and before that, he started a whole new page that got 200,000 followers, like in an hour. Like, we were waiting for this.
But this doesn't surprise me with Tory, only because if you've ever seen him live, you understand that he's an entertainer.
Yeah.
And you understand that that was his passion. Like, his passion is being in front of an audience and, commanding them to pay attention to him. And he's very energetic. He's high energy. So his success in this doesn't surprise me, because he is an entertainer, and he's going to find a way to fill that void if he feels like people are looking to be entertained. And not only that, I think Tory he moved through the industry with a chip on his shoulder.
100%.
I think he felt like, I think he felt like he needed to prove himself. I think he felt like people weren't paying him as much attention as he felt his talent required. So I think when you have those things and, you're passionate, passion is the main thing. When you're passionate about something, I think people like to see passion, because sometimes, I think the people that have the biggest audiences are the passionate ones, because people sometimes are trying to find their passion. And I think in looking at passionate people, sometimes people find what they're passionate about.
That's true.
So to me, this thing with Tory isn't surprising, like, because he is a passionate, high energy guy. So this is right on brand for him. And again, man, I salute him. This is a really big thing, and I think this is a turning point for.
We all salute him, but he definitely gonna get these jokes after this list is done.
Oh yeah,
that's a fact.
That's
happening. That's happening still.
Oh yeah, but kind of back to the clickbait thing, and which I've also noticed. I know with verses, of course, we're talking about legends, and it's not fair to compare anyone to legends. But I've noticed in this pandemic, to your point with the clickbait thing and just doing things for in the moment, how unvaluable that type of shit is as far as chasing the sound of whatever's going on with music. Replay value has become so much more important during a pandemic. And I attribute that to also your antics on the internet. Like, it's only something that's going to happen for 1 fucking second, and then we're moving on. We've noticed when people are locked in their fucking houses, they're going back to what they want as replay value of what they care about.
Yeah.
And it's not, you can tell me you have 200 million listens on this specific song on YouTube. It means nothing in the larger scheme of things once that moment is passed. 200 million people will watch something you can get that in 1 day. 2 days.
Especially because the value of those streams is so
it's not going to mean much. Like, to the value of, for example, Tory not doing this clickbait based and forced to do some sensationalized bullshit to get people to come somewhere doesn't hold any value that, say, a YouTube will want to take. All right, well, we know you have this personality and we know you have some music. Let's do a concert series. That doesn't come with that type of shit. And when you're chasing a sound with music, don't expect people to fucking listen to your music when it matters. You're just chasing a moment.
Well,
and a pandemic has just shown me how much moments don't matter.
that leads to my very next thing that I have written down here, which is the ability to gracefully cross promote. Now, a lot of artists rather, hate promotion. They want to live in the art. They want the art to speak for itself.
Yeah.
The promotion part, we fall flat on. And normally when you get something cracking and then you try to introduce your new smash single, it just never works out. Somehow he managed to get this quarantine radio shit popping and successfully plug his project that was coming without annoying the people that didn't give a fuck about that.
Yeah.
There's an art to that. As someone that hates promoting music, but was in the business of trying to sell music, boy, is there art to that. Hey, it's a lot of you niggas out there now that's suffering and going through that exact same thing, where you don't know how to promote music, don't want to promote music, but you got to sell music. I know, it's fucked up.
Well, I'll tell you, to that point, kind of on the flip side of that coin, I do feel for the artist that looks at the Tory Lanez and goes, nah, I'm just dead ass a musician and artist. I don't know how to play this game. I just know how to make good music. Like, I feel for that artist as well. Yeah, everyone's asking me at my label or within my management team, all right, you need to start doing something like this too to get your music out there elsewhere. Like, no, I'm just a musician, man.
That
I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
That artist should not exist anymore. If you're in this industry and you feel like all you want to do is just make music and put it out, you're gonna have a hard time.
Maul, you can't say that.
Yeah, that's not fair.
It's not.
That's not fair, Maul.
Today,
there are a lot of especially super duper stars like Beyonce and Kendrick's, those people of that nature. If you are an exceptional talent, you can just do music and perform. I mean, not during the pandemic, obviously, but
if you think that all Beyonce does is do music and perform,
no, I didn't mean to diminish her.
no, I think y'all missed what I'm saying. I'm saying that an artist, you should know the more of the business. Is what I'm saying. You should know more about different areas of the business, different areas of how to, one, protect your art, how to reap the most from your art, and how to share your art with the world. Because if you put it in the hands of other people and leave it up to them to share your art, sometimes your art gets misinterpreted.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree with you. I just am not going to judge those artists because I know the information is still being kept from them. Like, it's real niggas out here giving it up. So I mean, if you're in search of it,
but that's what I mean, Joe. Now it's more easy. It's easier to find. It's easier to hear these stories now about how a lot of artists get jerked. Like when you was on Everyday Struggle and Yachty didn't know what his contract was. Like you almost passed out at the thought of that. Like how in this year, in this age, with all this information readily available, how do you not know what kind of deal you're in? And that was shocking to you, but that's what I'm saying. Artists should at least know the business.
Real quick. Let me jump in right there because this is a great time to come clean about something that I've thought about with that whole Yachty situation. I 100% agree that every act should know their contract, and I'm flabbergasted.
At least
I'm flabbergasted to find out when artists don't know their contract.
Mm-hmm.
In that particular moment, the same praise that I speak of Bad Boy with. Today, in hindsight, I speak of QC with as well. Like,
yeah, because there are machines.
Yeah, they are a machine. Like, they are controlling a certain market share, and if they want to do it for you, they can do it for you. So they would be deserving of what they're asking for. But you should still be aware.
Yeah.
You should still be aware.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. That's what I meant
to
to say with the upper echelon artists. Not everyone has to do a quarantine radio because there are artists that have machines behind them or are just so immensely talented that they will cut through without having to do anything but just recording music and performing music. Again, obviously not during the pandemic, but that's a very rare and small percentage of people. Though.
Yeah, Parks. Right. That's a point I was going to make that not every artist is a machine in themselves. Fuck the people like around them. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the rarest thing ever when someone can in the NBA dribble, pass, shoot, drive. Like that's how superstars are created. Some artists can just shoot a 3-pointer and they're the best at it and they want nothing to do with anything in the paint. Leave me the fuck out the paint. So it's tough that now they have to come in and you're forcing someone that only wants to shoot a 3-pointer to now assist, dunk. But I'm not even tall enough to dunk. What the fuck? This ain't even part of my life. Like it's I think it's tough to put an artist in that situation when all they literally want to do is create music. Like I think that the ones that benefit more today are the ones that
learn the business.
Oh no,
that learn the business, that know how to do more. Mm-hmm. Like back to your point, Rory. Yeah, okay. If you have a big man now and all he can do is rebound, his career is going to be short lived.
I agree.
And let me add,
you got to be able to shoot. You got to be able to pass. You got to be able to defend.
And let me add.
My point was.
Let me add real quick. Let me just add to Maul's point as someone who's been on the unfortunate side of this coin. The dudes that are playing the business game in the business normally are doing somewhat better than the people that only care about the art.
Oh, well, that's no. Everything you guys are saying is correct. What I started this entire thing was, I feel for those artists that literally just want to come in and create the art. That was my original point. I feel for that artist because 1,000%, you have to know the business how to be successful.
That's why what TDE is doing and has done is so amazing. So amazing to me and so amazing, period. Because it seems like they keep finding artists that are about the art and making them win in business.
Yeah.
And it's a real amazing feat to watch.
But you have to be to a certain caliber of artist to have that luxury. Like
For sure.
Like
Yeah,
even
they're not signing to anybody.
yeah. And like even like Cole, for example, who we would say in the rap world is a superstar. He struggled in the beginning having to, all right, you got to chase the single. You got to do this appearance. You got to be part of this. You have to be active on socials.
He'll never say it, but I think TDE really helped him.
Oh, I think TDE certainly helped how Dreamville.
Yeah.
I don't want to say like TDE taught Dreamville, but I think
I
think they looked at Dreamville. They looked at TDE and was like, all right, we can do something on a lesser scale without the monster of Jimmy Iovine, but we could do it the way we want to do it.
It can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go find the artsy person and
make
do
them,
it.
Yeah, we can take my fan base, which is arenas, and put them on to real art shit that we like.
Yeah, I agree. Last on my list for Tory Lanez is to innovate/introduce, which is what I feel like he did with that whole YouTube performance thing where he was talking to fans and they were tipping him $20 at a time. This has been a really genius independent rollout. I have to say it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I tip my hat to the guy.
And
And not only that, it's exciting. I think it's an exciting time. I think we're gonna look back at this and point to this like this was a turning point for a lot of things.
Fuck that. You remember a few months ago, Maul? I don't know what talk we was having, but the culmination of it was, hey, rollout just really ain't that important. We want the music. I think this pandemic has reversed that all the way.
Yeah.
Like today I have a better appreciation for how you're rolling out your music because it takes some unique shit to cut through with all the real shit going on in the world.
Absolutely. Well,
Like,
this don't get it twisted. This changed, a lot of things. It forces you to create. You have to create ways to still be visible, to still create, to still move in business. You can't have an audience in front of you like physically, but that doesn't mean you can't reap the benefits of having people in an arena. So you do something, you bring in technology, you bring in different ideas of how to still give people that energy and that passion from their in their living room, but still you can be rewarded for that. You know what I mean? Like,
do y'all see Kehlani's album artwork?
I have, yes.
yeah, I like
Man, I don't want to be the guy to say this toxic shit, man. But I'm gonna say it.
Here
man.
comes some toxic
I
shit.
got it. I'm gonna say it.
it. Say it.
I don't know what she went through. I'm sure it was hurtful. But we about to get some great shit.
Friday.
She is smoking this rollout. She's smoking the songs.
Well, I was gonna say,
don't want to sound like I'm just saying that because she called in here, because I'm not. This was our vibe before she called in here.
Fuck the rollout from me, my personal. I don't give a fuck about the rollout from my fan base. Her music has been hitting for the past few records. Yeah. So that's what I'm.
Y'all hear Rory talking to his fan base?
No, my fan base, me.
No, Rory.
No,
Rory's fan base.
No, not my fan base. Me,
Kehlani.
He's saying he's the fan base.
I'm saying he's Kehlani.
I'm not Kehlani.
He's saying he's Kehlani.
I'm not Kehlani.
All right, go ahead. My bad.
I do want to add something to the business conversation, though. We often say, artists should know the business, which is very true. But on top of that, artists that are planning on moving independently and are in that upper echelon category need to apply creativity outside of the art, which is a different conversation. Like, you can know all the splits and publishing information you want in the world, but if you're not thinking creatively about how to reach your shit out there, that's kind of the key.
Yeah, for sure. And I love what Royce was saying during his press run for his album. Yeah, owning your masters is great, but if your music sucks, there's no point.
Right.
They're not going to create any revenue just by owning them.
Right.
Like, there's a bunch of other things you need to take into consideration before you even get your business right. As far as making this even matter.
Right.
So
the business alone is important, but there are other factors. And
it's not just knowing the business.
More important ones at the end of the day.
Y'all talking about some real shit. Somebody just sent me Holly in a fight last night.
Who's Holly?
Yeah, that was floating around. I got that. Somebody sent that to me too.
Yeah, well, see why we not friends really no more. That leads to something I want to talk about. Like, why y'all send me the goodies?
The goodies.
Joe, that wasn't because I looked at it and I laughed. I wasn't paying no mind to that bullshit.
Well, was she getting busy?
No.
Okay. Okay. I don't know who Holly is or who this fight is, but
That's my nigga. I love Holly, but no,
yeah,
that wasn't
Holly
a
is
good
my
look for her.
people, but
That wasn't a good look.
wasn't the victor.
This didn't look like a W.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't a brutal like beating. It wasn't
Listen,
that
man,
either.
everybody gets beat up in their life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's cool.
It wasn't a beating, but